Part 2 of the cotton candy yarn experiment. I have 2 equal-sized cotton candy yarn cakes, which is left sock and right sock. And I have a little darker shade which I will use for the borders of the socks. And I have the leftover of the dark single, which I plied with a plying bracelet, and probably will add a little strip in there next to the border, so it's almost a gradient. To see how all that happens, we have to reverse. I decided to do the sock yarn just 2-ply because I don't want it too thick. And I wanted to have the wool I had in that color as long as possible, so it's enough to knit 2 socks from. I could have spun the singles thinner, but the wool was already a little over carded when I got it, and then I carded it again too, and then it gives those knobs, and then it's really hard to spin. So I couldn't spin it that thin that I would want to make it 3-ply for a sock yarn. In most videos that I watched where people are plying, they have their singles go onto the bobbin in a continuous pull. I'm doing it like this. I think it looks much more elegant if it's continuously pulled like other people do. But I feel like I get a nice rhythm that I like with this. And I also realized that for the twists I usually do with my singles, I have it just in that rhythm that it is plied, so it's not over plied, so it's evening out the yarn, vegetable matter. I'm just feeding the singles onto the bobbin and then pulling back with about 8 to 9 pedals on my spinning wheel. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In fact, I never even tried the continuous pull. I should probably sometime. But then I like this so much. Why should I change it? I am really happy about this cotton candy yarn here. It's pretty, isn't it? Look at it. I like how the dark pink is mixed with the nasty nylon, but it's glittering through that, the dark pink, and the white pink is just the wool and it's matte, and I like that effect. It looks not just like cotton candy, kind of looks like Turkish Delight or something. This is a Noddy. I put my plied yarn from the bobbin on the Noddy, so I can have a skein that I can put into the water in order for the fiber to relax and even out a little bit before I roll it into a ball ready to knit. If you have your yarn on a Noddy, you can also count by the strands, like count all those strands and then calculate how long the whole skein is. Stop it. Psst. This is left from the darker pink. Usually I would make a plying bracelet out of this and connect it to the whole plied yarn, but I don't want to mix the bright pink with the dark pink this time. I'm just going to ply it with itself later. So I'm binding it on all ends 4 times, and the ends I knot in so it doesn't get tangled up. When I take it off and put it in the water, then you just slide it off the Noddy, like this. Back to where I'm at now. I will knit these in socks bottom up, but I'm gonna try starting at the toes, before the toes, with a provisional cast on, knit to the heel, knit up till this is finished, and then I will pick up the provisional cast on, make the toes on both socks, and then with the leftover I'm gonna do the border on top of the sock. Makes sense? So I don't have any leftover yarn. So let's do the provisional cast on. Oh no, I got ahead of myself. That's for the next video. We say, aller guten Dinge sind 3. So there will be a knitting video. I want to review my yarn. I like the sheen and the sparkle, which you can't see here. What I don't like is the nylon in there. I don't like nylon. I used it because it's cotton candy yarn, because cotton candy is artificial and needs to sparkle. And I had that nylon. That's why I put it in there. If it would be another sock yarn, I would use natural material. There is tons of fibers you can use for sock yarn to make it stronger, not tons, but there is some fiber you can use to make sock yarn stronger, and I will make videos about that in the future. But I think for this case the nylon was perfect. Just to give you a view ahead. I was thinking about different patterns I could use, or nice lace or something. I think handspun yarn is displayed the nicest if it's just stuck in a stitch, because then you can really see the colors. And I think I'm gonna do that. Because look at this candy yarn here. It's very smooth, it goes around, it actually spins around the stick. And talking about candy yarn, when I was a kid, this was just so magical to me. How the candy yarn appeared from out of nowhere onto that stick. The bucket always looked empty, and I was always scared that there is nothing in there. And everybody got a cotton candy stick, but I didn't, because now it's gone. But then there is always more coming out of it. Isn't it magical? Anyway, looking at that cotton candy, I want the sock to be smooth like that too. And since there is a shade, different shades of pink and white in here, it will be the smoothest if I will do stockinette stitch all around. What do you think? Would you do a lace? I mean, it goes with the pink. Or would you do a braid or something? I mean, there's a twist to it because of the provisional cast on and everything. And I really like the idea I came up with on how to use every single inch of this yarn, because I want to be done with it after. I don't want to reuse it in another project because of the nylon. In case you ask yourself what happened to that project which initiated the cotton candy yarn project. If you haven't seen this, go look at the first episode of the cotton candy yarn. It's basically done, the project. It looks nice. It looks like, I would say, very circus-esque. Circus? But it will be a separate video to keep things a little more ordered, a very dedicated sock enforcer yarn video soon. So please stay tuned, subscribe, like, put comments. I'm so happy if I get comments, and I see you soon.